I call on you, Great Spirit, as I share this message, that you would bring through only the information that the viewer needs to hear for their highest good and the highest good of all beings in all timelines, dimensions, and universes. That you would bring through only those viewers who are ready to receive this message and whose consciousness has called this message in to their awareness. The message that Spirit would like to share through this person is that you have awoken. You have become lucid in the dream, within a dream. And the vibration that I'm receiving is that you have found your center, that you have remembered that you dreamt this world into being. And within that dream, you dreamt your person into being as well. And I think it's an interesting reflection that Spirit is leading me to, that we also dream within this dream, within the dream of reality, that there's a fractal nature of this dream, but you have found the core of the dream, which is unchanging, which is unborn, which is the true master. You have found this place within you that is unchanging, that is ever present and nearer than near. You have learned to dispel the connection of knowing yourself. I am. The presence that you are is no longer associated with this body or the personality of this body. You have now come to the place where you understand yourself to be within all things. And there had been a point where you had thought yourself to be a concrete, stable, physical thing. And you have come to the realization that you are much more like the wind or the clouds or the river. It is always changing. The personal experience is transient. It is continuously in motion and changing. And what is unchanging is not true, but it is not the deepest form of truth. Spirit wants me to go ahead and get into the cards, so I'm going to take that advice and we'll see what comes up. Spirit, would you guide us for whoever's viewing this message, for any guidance that you have for allowing this energy to blossom within them and to be able to hold this energy and to be able to sit within the fire of awakening and let it burn away everything that is no longer in resonant connection with the viewer. So we're going to get your energy first and just see kind of a base of where you're at right now. Can we get the energy of the viewer here, Spirit? I'm going to take them. They said that's it. It was both. Interesting. We have the Sun and the Hermit. What this tells me is that through going within, through sitting deeply with yourself, reflecting, doing the inner work that is necessary, has allowed you to hold up that light within yourself to become the sun, the shining. The Tao, one of my favorite quotes from the I Ching is, the Tao is, give me 1 second, it's escaping me. I just had it. The Tao is dark and ominous, yet she radiates, or yet it makes her radiate. How does she radiate when it is dark and ominous? Because she lets it. How does it make her radiate when I gotta get the freaking quote right. I got it right here. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. And you have found that space within yourself, where all things are held in a loving space, where nothing is judged, where everything is held within the infinite self that you are, in a safe place to experience, for that energy to move. You have held that resonant energy and become a lighthouse that shines with the radiance of the Tao, that dark and unfathomable, the great mystery, the great womb of creation from which all things are born. You have found the place that is beyond the light and beyond the darkness, the place in which both crumble and cease to exist, the place that which light and darkness both are drank into. You are the light that sees, not the light that expands. You have found your place in the home that you have always been in, coming to the realization that all places are here. There is nowhere but here. There is nowhere to go but here. You exist home where you have always been, as existence itself. And you have found that through becoming empty, all things are within you, that you are complete and whole, and that through this nothingness, you are completely full with all that has ever been, is now, or ever will be. You have realized that all is just a reflection of yourself, and you have learned to look into creation and to see yourself in all things. And through this understanding, it has allowed you to release all of the baggage, all of the karma, all of the hate, all of the heaviness in the heart for all of the people that you had perceived to do you wrong or break your heart or whatever it was. You're now realizing that all of these experiences were yourself, and that they were gifts, that our struggles, the struggles that you have been through, were a blessing from the Great Spirit to help you to remind yourself of who you truly are, to lead you on the path back home to your core, to your center that is beyond the transience of the person, to find your peace beyond life and death, that you are beyond light and darkness, beyond death, beyond life. Oh, what do we got, Spirit, for the East? What is the rising energy within the viewer right now? And what would they like to, what would their consciousness like to know about the energy that is rising within them right now? Could you please give us a card for this energy, Great Spirit? The rising, that's it. Interesting. Very interesting. We have the Five of Cups here. And this card tells me that you're taking one final look at the past, at all these cups here that you had perceived to be spilled. And the spilling that you did experience, it's not to take away from the spilling of these cups and the tragedies and the heartache and everything that you've been through. But what I'm getting is that you're taking one final look at this past to mourn and to have gratitude and to release this part of yourself back into yourself. It's not that you're kicking it away. The love that you're giving it is allowing that to be brought back into you, to be absorbed and resolved. And what I see is behind you, you have these 2 cups that are glistening and full, and you have this bridge off in the distance where you're headed to. And across that bridge, there's a grand castle. And that this is your one final look at everything that you had to go through and all the heartache, the pain to get to this point. So I think that that's a wonderful place to be, a state of reflection. Before we surrender into the unknown, no longer trying to have expectations, but allowing the flow of the Spirit to move through you, to be carried, no longer choosing, but allowing those choices to be shown to you. Okay, what do we have here for the South? What's the energy that's rooting us right now, Great Spirit? Could you help me out with the energy of what's rooting us, what's rooting the viewer, and what energy do they need to root deeply and more completely into this energy, that they would sustain this moving forward? What do we have here? Can you give us a card, Great Spirit, for the energy of the viewer? Okay. Interesting. Okay, what I'm seeing, this is the 4 cups. And immediately what I got was Spirit is trying to hand you this cup, and you're like, me. And you had found a sense of almost like pride in what you had gone through, that was what made you who you were. And you were like, I don't want to look at it like I wasn't treated unfairly or poorly. Like, you wanted to hold on to that judgment and that hate in your heart for the things that had happened to you. But what this is telling me is that the medicine for that energy is what you're going through now. It's coming to the understanding that this is what allowed you to become who you are. And you're exactly the person that your heart and your soul and the Spirit, everything wanted you to be. And with such gratitude that you are thankful for who you became, this is what is rooting in this energy of the Sun, the Hermit, of understanding who you are, is moving through this and allowing yourself to root in that energy, understanding with gratitude. Everything that you went through is what made you who you are. And you finally understand that to truly love who you are, you have to love the experiences that shaped you. And you're understanding that Spirit has blessed you with the tragedies to help you to become the person who you've always wanted to be. Great Spirit, what do we have from the moon and the waters, the emotions? What emotions are relevant? Like, ooh. Interesting. We got 2 popping out again. 5 of Pentacles and the King of Wands. what I'm getting is that you had felt like you were out in the cold, that you had been forsaken, that you were left out like a beggar, but that this also is the well from which your strength rose from. And that's tying back into the core of your being. It's the fact that Spirit had to put you through such difficult things in physical reality that you had no other choice but to find yourself in your home, in your heart, and find that place that is still, that has never changed, that is relaxed and peaceful and softly joyous and aware. And that is what is allowing you to step into that kingly energy and to be grounded in that energy and to become the sovereign being that you were always meant to be. And not that you ever left, but you had forgotten yourself. And you had allowed these illusions to be cast over you so that you could remind yourself of your sacredness, that you could go into a place where you didn't know who you are and go through the most intense, terrible things and still come home to yourself. That this was like a coming of age ceremony that you've been going through for, Spirit's telling me, the last 10 to 15 years. What do we have from the North, Spirit? What is the energy that we need to come into full maturity? That's too many, sorry. To fully mature and to follow our highest joy with steadfastness. Yes, the star. And what that tells me is the North is calling you to fly with hummingbird spirit, to show the world who you are and follow your greatest joy unapologetically. No more back turns, no more U-turns, no more pit stops. That you have arrived. In this lucidity, you are now realizing that you are in control of this dream. And you're finally allowing yourself to be seen as who you truly are. You're no longer shrinking to the projections of others of who they had thought you to be or wanted you to be. You are breaking all of the chains that had held you down. Wow. Beautiful. Okay, I'd like to get some guidance, if there's any clarification or anything from above. That's them. This would be from the archangels, the star families, the guides, the thunderbird spirit. I have Pleiades coming through strong, and Sirius, and the blue avian beings. They are believed to be from Altair. They have a message. Shunahi inashidat yetara. Huna yenahanashidat natira. You are the one who has always been. There is nothing outside of you. Shina ishena akana. For you, the time has come. Sune shenakana ine chana. May you be lifted by the wings in your heart. Shun shana ayekana, who are one and the same with the Spirit. Shun shana ayekana. For the Spirit is yourself, and the wings of your own heart lift you. Shuna e shanahatatane. The fear that has been in your heart has been held. Una e anahana. And through this holding has transformed into peace. The time has come for you to stand in who you truly are. You have allowed the waters to settle within you. She ahana kireta anacha. Now you see clearly from your center, eknata sharatle, unimpeded. Una lekanana sheta. You are free forevermore. And we have Andromedan energy as well. Adventure, say yes to change. It says jump in. And it looks like an eye, the universal sight that you have dove into and become. Say yes to change. When everything changes, let it. We also have the activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. What they're telling me is that you have seen where you are to go. That you are simply learning to trust your own vision, to no longer stifle and shrink the energy that moves through you, that you have showed enough love and care and compassion to your person, the body, the personality, that it has become a temple and a vessel for who you truly are to move through you, unimpeded by the personality, by the wants of the person and the body. Spirit says, trust where you are led, that you know where you are going. From below, the Great Mother, our Pachamama from the deep earth, you have some energy for us. From below, that's the one. We have bring it into form. I'm seeing as a woman walking here. Looks like walking on eternity itself, on a spiraling light field of infinite potential. And this is giving me the energy of Yeshua, Yahushua HaMashiach. And what this is telling me is that you are walking on water now. The metaphysical laws that had once governed you have been shattered. The illusion has crumbled. You have come to a point where it can no longer hold your awareness. You have transcended the limitations. Finally, Great Spirit, the energy from within, from the hearts, from our center, from the core. Is there any final guidance that you have for us here? So interesting. Except one more. So, okay. Do you have some energy for us, Great Spirit? I said, slow down, my son. You have come to the understanding that you and the Father, you and the Mother, whatever you would like to call it, are one in the same. That you are one, that you have never been separate. So we have here wings, blood, and bone. And we have second sight. And what this is telling me is that you're literally like a fish that can fly. You have jumped out of a world that you have always known and realized that you were able to navigate in a new way. This is like the energy that I'm getting of the dragonfly, who spends the majority of its life underwater in the beginning as a different creature. And then one day it feels this tugging, this pulling. It doesn't know why, but it climbs up out of the water to a place it has never been, and it creates some sort of cocoon for itself, and it allows itself to be dissolved, and it doesn't know what it's going to become, but it feels that pull, that guidance from something within it, and that is where you have been, and this is your point where you have broken out and become that dragonfly, that majestic creature. And I'm also seeing this third eye here, which is illuminated. The energy that I'm getting from this is that you have understood the wings and bone and body to be your experience. And that does not make it any less real, but it is simply an experience that you're having. And what this gives me is that you have moved to the place that sees both the stillness and the motion, the place that looks and can see, and the place that is all things, moving as one in harmony. And we also have second sight here. And the energy that I got from this is that you're moving into your higher self, that you are now in co-creation, that the lower self, the person, and the higher self, the spirit, have become one. They have merged into unison. And through this, it has cultivated what is like a Bhagavan. It has risen the Christ energy within you. For that is what the Christos is the understanding of the person and the personality, that it is one with the divine, that it is one with the sacred, as the sacred is one with all things. And through this understanding and through having grace with the person, you have walked your personal consciousness up to a point where it has allowed you and trusted you enough to surrender and to release and to no longer need to control, that you're following the flow and you have faith and you are trusting your guidance. That you now know in your heart of hearts the truth of who you are. And this is a deep sense of serenity and calm, and that you understand whatever happens to you is always happening for your highest good. And now you're no longer trying to control the journey. You're just enjoying it. You're just enjoying it. You've come to the place where you don't care to know exactly how the things play out, the events. That you know who you are, and whatever way they play out, you know is for the most high's intentions and the best for all beings, that they would find peace and joy and love and happiness, and that we would transcend and rise above the illusion of this separation, which is, in my understanding, what is perceived as the devil energy. But one thing I think is important to understand is that nothing is separate from the divine, from the Most High, which is also that darkness, which is also that illusion. And the Great Spirit has allowed these illusions to play out, to assist you to come home to who you are, and to show itself and to experience that nothing, absolutely nothing, not the absolute darkness, not the absolute illusions, not the hall of mirrors, not the smoke, nothing could keep you from who you are. It says this one too. Interesting. 7 of Swords. So what I'm getting from this is that through your embodiment, you have taken all of the swords that anybody could use to stab in your back. They no longer are there. It's like somebody reaching in their back, going to stab you, but they're like, where's my... They have no ammunition against the truth of who you are. It speaks for itself, and it is self-evident. You have become undeniable. And sometimes that may involve being a trickster to certain energies in your life and allowing them to think certain things, allowing them to project certain things, knowing that this all has a reasoning and that you trust in the Great Spirit that all things that happen will lead to good things. And that even if you have to show up in a way that might seem mischievous to others, you know the truth of what you are and why you do the things that you do. And that your only goal is to remind others of the love and compassion that is innate and exists within them in their own heart, which is my understanding of the kingdom of heaven and my personal knowledge of the kingdom of heaven. That one more. Okay. So interesting. It says cut. Queen of Pentacles. that this energy of being willing to be misunderstood and have people look at you like the bad guy, the villain, you're evil, you're all of these things, and just accepting it, that you no longer have to prove who you are, is what is allowing you to step into this energy of the Queen of Pentacles. Very abundant, that you're coming into the place where you will be holding this magnificent pinnacle, and in your throne, through your authenticity, through your heart, through connecting with the place that has always been within you and recognizing it as yourself. When you know who you are, and now that you do, the universe has no other choice but to reflect the truth back to you. You have arrived. They said, that's it. This transmission is done. I love y'all so much. I love you, Spirit. Grandmother, grandfather, ancestors, 7 generations and before, 7 generations and beyond, and all those 5-finger beings who are here present, and to the guides, to the angels, to the directions, to the wholeness and completeness of our being. So with my deepest gratitude, and that you allow me to share these messages, and that you bring in those souls who are ready to receive them. With all of my heart, I love you, family. Aho mitakuyasin. Blessings.